Hey, Warrior Saints. Glad to have you beautiful people with us as we continue our conversation from yesterday. I think totally concur 100%, but I'm going to put the onus on the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because we should always take responsibility for ourselves. And that being this, that, the worldly way of responding to that stuff is how we started this conversation at the beginning, that everyone's the expert and everyone comes out and, tries to correct this, that, and they, like we talked about last week or week before, everybody's they all know better.
Yeah.
And like that meme you said, what if when this guy, whoever it was, made that original post, what if he was putting it out there to a group of people who were curious and wanted to learn and banter and discuss and argue over ideas, in order to grow and learn? You know what I mean? The worldly way says, to go back, amygdala, right? Protect, self-protect. So if a monster's coming after you, you can run or you can fight it. Well, I guess you could freeze, but that would be no good, right? So, they've, the world has, and people conform to it.
Yeah.
They're conforming to the worldly mindset of attack and go get. But
Right.
What if this guy, I don't know who it is, put out there a statement and I wrote in, wait, I like that where you're going, but what about this? And I didn't understand that. And what did you mean here? Where it's an actual, honest, curious debate, not even debate, discussion, if need be, in order to learn. Why are we conforming to what the world is, that worldly mechanism? I say that to all of our people, to you and I first. To all of our people, hey, don't be like that, right?
Yeah.
The world wants to fight, great, fight, let them do that. But you and I, let's be, humane, normal, decent.
Yeah. Well, I think, yes. Yeah.
There it is.
But is the internet the place to do that?
Well,
is the internet a place to have actual honest things? Like, if I want to talk about something that I find to be that, and I want to have an actual conversation with that, I am not going to write that on my Facebook wall. I'm not going to just put that out there generally in Facebook, because I know from the get-go that, you talk about monsters and the amygdala protecting us from monsters. The internet trolls are coming, and the internet trolls are going to just go after anything that's said just for the sake of going after it. It's conformity, but it's what it's designed to do, right? And if I want to have a real honest discussion, I'm going to have a real honest discussion, and I'm not going to do it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Facebook isn't the venue for a real honest discussion, right?
Yeah, you're right. People are not putting that, you're right. And people are not putting that stuff out there for honest discussion. They're doing it saying, look at me. And
they're putting it out there to stir the pot, not to have honest discussion.
Absolutely. My point in even bringing that up is that I don't care. You're right, but I don't care where we encounter it. We have to be of a different mind,
without question.
So that regardless if someone makes the poor decision to put a snarky or even a legit a statement on Facebook, or like you said, better in person on the phone, something.
Yeah.
Then we are of the mindset of curiosity. Let's learn and so on. I'm just saying, don't do what the world is doing. Wherever you encounter it, don't be conformed to this world.
Right. St. Paul bluntly says that in Romans 12. Go for it.
I left it for you. That's why I was trying. I was trying to get there like last time.
I know, but all right, fine. Let me go there. I love it, Romans 12, because he says it bluntly. Yep. He says, "Do not be conformed to this world. Be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may prove what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." Right. Like, our job, I'm leaving it on the screen right now.
Do it.
Our job is to not conform to the BS that everyone else is telling you to do.
Right.
Is not to just run down every rabbit hole that everyone's telling you to run down, to not just go on Facebook for the sake of, like, I'm guilty of it. I go on Facebook to see certain people's posts, to see what kind of trolling they've done and what kind of pot they've stirred, and watch and laugh when they write things like "take a seat," right? Yeah. Like, I just go just to see this stuff because it's ridiculous, right? And that's what it's there for, and that's what we're being pointed towards to do.
Yeah.
But we're called to be better than that.
Yes.
We're called to be transformed. We're called to metamorphosize ourselves.
Yeah.
We're called to get out there and shift, but not just shift willy-nilly. I'm using a lot of hand motions.
I'm watching.
I
I'm
apologize
in rapt
so
attention.
much. We're not just supposed to, I put it back up, not just supposed to transform through the renewal of our mind, but it's so that we can prove the will of God.
Great.
We have to prove God's will.
Yeah.
So the renewal of our mind is then found in that book,
Yep.
is found in scripture, is found in, like, the mind is not going to just be renewed because we go out and we say we're going to go renew our mind. The mind is going to be renewed because we've done the work to actually sit there and read and learn what is being said.
Sit down. No, sorry. Take a seat.
Take a seat.
I was gonna say, after all that first, I was afraid like you're doing that, like this little teleport portal thing was gonna open up.
I'm not Doctor Strange. This is not the Spideyverse.
The other part of it all was, it's really funny. It's funny. I mean, getting back to being serious about it, but I mean, the mind, we've got to, it has to go first, right? We've got to free our mind from the shackles of,
Yeah, you got to free your mind and the rest will follow. I mean, you said you were being serious and now you went there. Come on. But it's true. It really is true. In Vogue was onto something.
You're right. I forgot. Now it's in my head. I hope it's in
You're
there
welcome.
too. Yeah.
But like, they were onto something. You have to first open your mind to understand that it's not you.
Totally.
Right? Like, all right. So I've been doing some work in Exodus and the plagues.
Yeah.
There's this whole like back and forth in the plagues where Moses goes, Pharaoh agrees, and then it says God hardens Pharaoh's heart, right? Which reminds me of Ezekiel, that he's going to take out the heart of stone and he's going to replace it with the heart of flesh, right? This hardening of the heart. It has nothing to do with the heart. It has everything to do with the mind.
Yeah.
It has to do with the stubbornness. It has to do with this idea that like we have to be open to understanding that our ideas are not it. Otherwise, we will always be falling into Adam's way and ignoring Christ's way. We'll never be able to bring in what is there.
Yeah.
We're never able to bring in God's way into our lives if we're so stuck with that hardened heart, which is really the closed off mind that keeps our way as the way.
Yeah.
There's no way if I'm doing it my way that I can ever do it God's way.
Okay, I can't help myself. I gotta hear him. All right, so I mean, you're onto it. I think totally. Obviously, I think you're onto it. But the renewal of the mind, what St. Paul is saying, in order to prove, and that's why I slammed on the table because I was like, yes, to prove the will of God. That's like when people often think about. All right, I got lost first. As you said, you were quoting Ezekiel and quoting Exodus and the heart. That Hebrew word leb, it means the core, right? It's like, they knew this area. But for them, being the ancient Hebrews or whoever the ancient people, it was the seat of thought.
Right.
The Greeks dealt up here, but this was, so when you see heart in Scripture, it's talking about your mind. The heart isn't, we know, it's an organ that pumps blood. It's the mind they're talking about. And, a fleshy heart, like you said for Ezekiel. Anyways, all of that rambling, our duty. See, once you get your mind right, I think, and put it and start control. Once you get your mind right, let's go back. Control it. Don't leave it out there exposed to the world to dump all of its poison. You may encounter it, of course, but your mind, you're not freely absorbing all of it. You're open and you're curious to the ideas and thoughts of others, but you're not ill-prepared to know and be able to read and see when something's crazy. Then, once you've, girded up your mind, then that transformation, which ultimately, and so many people are hungry and looking for, and we hear it all the time. I don't know, I want to find my purpose, right? Like, what good am I supposed to be doing in this world? And I think people are missing it. The purpose is pretty simple and pretty clear. The purpose is to do the will of God. I mean, that's what Paul says in Romans 12, too. Transform so that you can prove what is the will of God. And that will, that God puts before all of us, that purpose that he puts before all of us, is to be able to think. I think the right purpose is to think of another ahead of ourselves, right? That's what our purpose should be. Now, where do you do that? In what particular job, whether, clergy or marketers or doctors or lawyers or garbage collectors or teachers or whatever. I don't care what you do. That's your decision. But in doing so, whatever it is, let the purpose be to focus on the other. And look, pretty clear. The 10 Commandments, the first few deal with God. The last 6 deal with relationships to other people. You know what I mean? Like, do good things for others. And of course, Christ quoting both Deuteronomy and Leviticus, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, strength, and your neighbors yourself.
Yeah, it's in that way that we hear all these quotes that throw out there all the time, like St. Francis of Assisi, preach the gospel at all times and when necessary, use words. Like, it's cheesy. I get annoyed with it because I feel like it gets thrown out there too much. But for whatever reason, as we're talking about this, proving what is the will of God, that's what he's talking about. Your actions, you're actually doing for others is what shows the world who God is and proves the will of God. And you have to let that light shine.
Yeah.
You have to let that out there. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. You got to throw it out there. You cannot put it under a bushel. No, you've got to let it shine.
Yeah. Nobody puts them under bushels. Why would you light a light and put it under a bushel?
Well, that's Christ.
You put it on a stand
He
so that
talks
all in
about
the house could see.
That's the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
It's fabulous.
I'm with you. So, all right, that's good stuff. Let's, hey, Warrior Saints, thank you so much for being with us. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us get the word out there. And if you want more, visit us at warriorsaints.org and subscribe to Understanding the Bible. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.